Why do some men expect to be chased nowadays? We live in very interesting times because it seems like there's this whole kind of role reversal thing. First, women became successful and independent, good for them, they should have the freedom to do so. But at the same time, they still don't want to take the position of provider. Understand, it's biology, it's the way it is. Some women might, but most women don't. But now for guys, it seems that a lot of the traits and qualities that women would have traditionally in the past, guys are now starting to have too. So first off, apparently, male dysmorphia is on the rise and is due to overtake women's in the next 15 to 20 years. I got that from Chris Williamson. So, if that stat is wrong, go blame him. Also as well, you see this, especially on TikTok, this guys looking to be the pretty boy and, get their jaw done, maybe even wearing foundation or using filters to kind of get rid of blemishes. It seems that a lot of guys are being feminized today. And honestly, can we blame them? Because we know in schools that boys are held to a feminine standard. There's no such thing as boys will be boys anymore. In fact, that's apparently toxic to even say. And we also know that aggression is only really celebrated in women, not even in men. Aggression in men outside of the sports arena is generally seen as quite a bad thing. So at the same time, we can't really blame men and boys of today expecting to be chased. Now, there's two types of guys expecting to be chased. One, the guy who has very much embraced the feminine side of things, the guy who has very much embraced the feminine qualities, because the culture we live in today says that to be more feminine is to be more right, and to be more masculine is to be more toxic. And because we are creatures of survival, a lot of young boys today, a lot of young men have seen growing up and have been conditioned growing up, okay, the more feminine I am, the more accepted I am through society. Now, while that might mean he might be accepted into social circles, the irony is when it comes to women and dating, that is the opposite of what most women are looking for. But that's another video for another time. And then there's the other guy who's expecting to be chased. And ironically, the other guy who's expecting to be chased is the guy that most women want, is the high value man, is the man that most men want to be and other women want to be with. Now, why is this man expecting to be chased? Now, why does this guy want to be chased? Now, we have to look at the landscape of today, all right? It is way harder today to be desirable to women compared to how it was, say, 40, 50 years ago. It is way harder today to get interest from women, to have sexual relations with women, to even just get women to notice you. It is way harder for a man today than it is compared to our previous generations. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Back in the day, people were only limited to the people in their village, okay? So you would have the average girl, she'd look at the men in her village, maybe her village of, 30 men or 50 eligible men, and she would choose somebody from her village, and they will settle down and have a nice life together. Average woman getting an average guy, okay? Now with the internet, now with technology, now with instant access and instant gratification, we don't live in a localized data market anymore. We live in a globalized data market. So now the average girl who lives in Norwich, which is this small kind of village town here in England, she's not limited to other guys in her village anymore. She can now match with the producer from London, the lawyer from Paris, the director from LA, right? She can match with all these different kinds of guys. If she's matching with all these different kinds of guys because of social media and the internet, the men around her just seems completely unattractive in comparison. They pale in comparison. And now we hear all the time, because of women being able to match and connect with these high quality men, even though most of those quality men, or rather most of those women, are not going to get commitment from those quality men, because they're getting interactions and engagements with them and they can use sex to get access to these quality guys. What they now want to do is lock down one of those guys, as opposed to choosing somebody who is maybe more realistically their level and a better match for them. Now, the other thing we have to consider is that it is very much expressed online, women expressing their standards for men. And I'm not saying women shouldn't have standards for men. You should absolutely have standards. But there's a difference in having standards in quality and standards in caliber. Quality refers to a man's character. Is he intentional with you? Is he a man of his word? Is he loyal to his friends, his family, and loved ones, right? The caliber of a man refers to what he is on paper. Whether he's tall, whether he's attractive, whether he's successful, whether he's economically attractive, if he's in a good financial position, if he's intelligent, if he's funny, is he a man of influence? All these things refer to a man's caliber. You can have a man who's very high caliber, but very low quality. Equally, you can have a guy who's very high quality, but maybe he's a low caliber man, okay? So when women express their standards on social media, right? When women express their standards that we see, their standards are always reflective of the caliber of man, very rarely of the quality. At least the caliber of man is what we see, having to be, 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches, 6 figures, right? Hey, you know me, I always want to give great value. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I want to give you the secret sauce that makes a man want to desperately commit to a woman. It's not great sex, and it's not how hot you are. It's the value you bring outside of the bedroom, which is why I'm giving you my guide, the 5 feminine ways to add value to a man's life that makes you irreplaceable to him. Absolutely free. Just click the link below and it's yours. Now back to the video. And so because women have access to this, a lot of women are only giving opportunities first to those kinds of men, right? So those men are swimming in abundance and most men suffer. Now, I am getting to the point of why those men feel like they want to be chased. I want you to imagine, if you're a woman watching this, I want you to imagine being an average guy today. I want you to imagine you're an average guy, right? There's nothing wrong with you. Average face, average looks, and let's say you're 5'10", right? You go on dating apps, you can't get a match because so many women's filters is set to 6 foot and above. So that's going to eliminate 85% of women. The rest of the women who you might match with on every monthly, right, are women that you're not really that attracted to. They're women that, maybe you feel that you're not that drawn to. You feel that these are women that maybe other guys may have had their own experiences and now she's looking to settle for someone. And now you feel that potentially you either settle for that, right? You kind of settle for the person who really you're not really drawn to, or you kind of go at it on your own. And let's say you decide to then focus on self-improvement. And then you decide to work on your self-improvement. You focus on training your body. You get to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and you start eating properly, you get into great shape. You then decide to start working on your career and profession. So you start studying more. Maybe you take courses online. You now start to earn the kind of money that is making you attractive to women, right? It's putting you in certain circles. On top of that, you are building your confidence, right? You're building your confidence, you're building your charisma. All of this, not only does it take consistent grind, but it also takes time. Let's say you stay on this for 3 to 4 years and you put yourself in a really good position to the point that now you are one of these men. You are that guy now who is getting looks from women. You are that guy who has a level of financial abundance where you don't worry about money. You can take a girl out, you can take your girlfriend out or wife out, and you don't have to worry about, can I pay for this bill? Or do I pay for this bill, or do I pay my rent or pay my mortgage? You are now in a position of working so hard from the last 3 to 5, maybe even 10 years to put yourself in a position where now you can attract the kind of women you want. Where now, right, you have a level of abundance. Now, if you are this kind of man and you have 5, 6, 7 women who all want you and they all want their commitment, or rather they all want you to commit to them, well, of course, you're going to sit back and be like, okay, well, cool. Show me who's the best out of all of you. And that's the approach that these men take. Because they've worked so hard to be in a position today to be the kind of man that is desirable to women, right? They get to that position, which most men never get to. And they're like, cool, now I'm going to reap the rewards. Now I'm going to sit back and let you chase me. And I think, just being completely real here, I think women really underestimate how difficult it is to be desirable to you. I think women really underestimate how difficult it is for a man to be desirable, not just to one woman rather, but to multiple women. And so if we can understand how difficult it is for a man to be in that position, it's kind of like a man going into the Premier League or football. It's kind of like a man going into the NBA, right? Most guys don't make it. But when you do make it, you are living that life of abundance, you are living that life of quality, and you have your pick. And so this is when, for that kind of guy, now he's gotten used to dating these women, spending time with them, having sex with them. Now he's not going to choose a woman just because she's attractive, because he's used to that. He's not going to choose a woman just because he spends time with her, because he's used to that. He's not going to choose a woman just because she has sex with him, because he's used to that. Now it's like, okay, now the woman that he will choose is the woman who adds the most value to his life outside of the sex, right? That's what women of value do. They add value to a man's life outside of the sex, because spending time with a guy and having sex with him, that's what every other woman does. So if he's a man who has options, what is going to make him choose this woman over this woman? How does this woman show up in his life, and how does this woman show up in his life? Is this woman just looking to see what he can do for her, or does this woman see what she can do for him? And that's what makes a difference. At the end of the day, men and women pursue each other differently, okay? Men can actively pursue, right? They actively either pursue the woman or they pursue the position that's going to attract the woman. Now, both of them are difficult ventures, okay? Depending on the woman and depending on the position. But well, actually, what I would say is that pursuing one woman who shows a bit of interest is easier than pursuing the position where you have a level of abundance. But if he's worked hard enough to get there, he's going to be like, you know what? Now it's time for me to sit back and let you chase me. Men do things to get women, but women do things to get the commitment from the guy. Well, thanks for tuning in. And if you're ready to take your love life to the next level, then be sure to join the Kit Angels community in the link below. Let's stay connected. See you next time.